Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Jim Cornette Experience, where today anything can happen because we have only the barest idea of what we're going to do, including talking about the NWA, AEW, NXT, the whole bowl of alphabet soup. And to join me in this, Hawaiian Brian, the podcasting lion, the king of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network, Mr. Co-host to you, the proprietor of the French Toast Chateau, now with bacon. He's your friend and mine, the great Mr. Co-host, Brian Last.
Aloha, Jim. I approve. What a fantastic introduction, and I am lightening up on bacon. I am starting to approve of bacon a little more than a few weeks ago, a few months ago, and a few years ago.
I always just like that. Now, that's why the column on the website where and haven't done any in so long, with Stacey and I, we're both doing food reviews, is called Now with Tomato, because it's like whenever they advertise something and now with so-and-so, well, you just fucking know it's good.
Was there an actual place that advertised Now with Tomato?
No, it's something that I made up because we actually had a tomato for once in the refrigerator. So I said, well, I'll just put tomato on this. And now with tomato. And that's it. There it became.
For once? You don't like tomatoes on your burgers?
Well, no, I don't say for once. Most of the time we have tomatoes, but at one point we didn't have any tomatoes and then we had a tomato. So I added a tomato. Not a little Tommy toe, but a big full-size tomato.
Tomato.
What you say, I guess we really couldn't, we have to say it. You say tomato and I say tomato about tomatoes and tomatoes.
Well, you went there.
All right. Anyway, I've got oh, God damn it. We've had a tough time here. Skype was acting up to record this program, and then I'm so hardcore. I've been watching so much wrestling. I started bleeding. Had a nosebleed right before we started recording because, well, it's goddamn cold again here. It was 30-something degrees this morning at the castle, and now with the heat on, it dries you out. I blow my nose real hard this morning because I'm all stopped up, and I'm susceptible, as you may know, over my life to nosebleeds.
Now with heat.
Now with heat. It'll dry you out. Anyway, and I wanted to start off with one thing, and I didn't even tell you about this beforehand because I wasn't sure I wanted to do it because I didn't want people to think I was in some way I'm reading this to put myself over, but I wanted to read this letter that I just got. I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but I've recognized his name because he not only has an unusual address, because he's in a service. So he's got one of the APO addresses, and then they forward the mail. But also, I remember his last name is familiar to me because of people I've known. And he's bought a number of things at Cornette's Collectibles. And I've said I have gotten to meet a bunch of the customers at these fan fests and everything. But this guy, I have not met yet, but I recognize his name. And he had just ordered a book, The Behind the Curtain, and I just sent it out to him. And then I go to the post office yesterday, and there's a letter in the box from him. And I'm like, well, I didn't know what that would be. And I open it up, and before I see anything, there's a thank you card that says thank you. And there's not only a gift card for Carrabba's in there, but also one for Petco for Harley Quinn, which was, and so but then I read the note, and I'm going to read, and I'm not going to read his name, but I'm going to read you most of the note. Dear Jim, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you. I'm enclosing a gift card to Carrabba's because, as illustrated by your birthday meal, it's good stuff. I'm also closing a gift card for Harley Quinn. I'm sure this doesn't ring a bell, but with the millions of members of the cult, but I'm so-and-so, the guy stationed in so-and-so who orders stuff from Cornette's Collectibles and listens to both podcasts every week, even in where he is. I want to thank you for providing my family so much joy as poor kids growing up in HUD housing. That's housing and urban development, not the greatest place in the world to live in some instances for the international audience. In HUD housing, we would look forward to 6:05 Eastern every week to watch you in the midnights. I was lucky and made it out of there. I've served my country for over 25 years, have a college education, a family, and I'm not a gun nut or Republican. But my brother never left. We still bonded by talking about the experience and drive-through each week. I surprised him with a signed hard copy of Behind the Curtain, and he loved it. I just got mine today because his went overseas. Unfortunately, I come to you with a heavy heart. My brother had demons, and on Monday, the 1st of October, I got the phone call that we all dread. My brother was found dead, having taken his own life. I searched for answers and am left with a huge hole in my heart and a void. We both got so much joy talking about old wrestling and about your two shows. Again, thank you for providing him some light in the darkness. I now don't have a buddy to talk old wrestling with, and it hurts so bad. And then he gives his contact information, which I'm not going to give, and he signs it a proud cult member. And when I got that, I was just like, fuck. His brother just died, and he just sent me gift cards thanking me for what I had been able to do or had done for them, which just, I don't even know what to say otherwise. And it's, sometimes we say, we do this fucking show every week or whatever the fuck, and I will put it up on YouTube. But this is proof that a lot of people not only take what we're doing seriously, but enjoy it. And it's a way for them to be involved with other people they like to be around or members of their family or whatever. But I couldn't believe, and I wanted to tell this guy on the air that I appreciate what he said, and I'm still dumbfounded and honored or whatever and speechless that I would get, and Harley would get a gift card just for what we were able to do for them in this particular point in time, because this is recent. It's just like now that this happened. So I want to say, we must do a real good show, but I think maybe that's the thing. Everybody knows we don't do a show because fucking hell, God knows if we were trying to do a show, we'd actually try harder and put more bells and whistles into it. This is just a conversation, which is, and we don't bullshit people for the sake of the sponsors or whatever. So maybe people kind of take what we do a little bit more seriously and a little bit more legitimately. I don't know.
Well, we do know we have a big impact on a lot of people, and the shows, I should say, mean a lot to a lot of people. It's one of the reasons I edit out your belches, Jim.
and Brian hates it when I belch. All right. Well, here's one of those Casey Kasem segues. How about this from that letter to fuck Jim Cornette for charity this time, though.
For the kids.
For the kids. Fuck Jim Cornette. We've talked about it and last week it made a bunch of news and a bunch of people were just surprised to hear it. But the internet hottest t-shirt controversy has now come to JimCornette.com, where you can, if you want to, avail yourself of the opportunity. It is a free country. And while I was absolutely sure that many people would not have this viewpoint, but a lot of people would probably want it as a limited edition collector's item, they have been selling briskly. I'm not sure which one that's a comment on, but the fuck Jim Cornette t-shirts with my disfigured face just in time for Halloween. If you want to wear this for you or your kid's Halloween costume, I would suggest that you get these quickly. But the internet's hottest shirt, fuck Jim Cornette, available legally, morally, and ethically now at JimCornette.com. Just click on collectibles, and right there in the shirt section, along with thank you, fuck you, bye, and Cornette face, and I'm a Jim Cornette guy, and hate is a hell of a motivator, and Outlaw Mud Show. There in bright colors is me disfigured and bleeding with a vicious epithet written around me. And all for charity, ladies and gentlemen, because $5 of every shirt sold goes to the WHAS Crusade for Children to help special needs kids in Kentucky and southern Indiana. And, I don't want you to put yourself at risk, because you're dealing with a verifiable, secure, legal website here in JimCornette.com, not the international organ harvesters from Bolivia that we've talked about. You're not going to have your identity stolen at some outlaw mud show indie type website and potentially end up on a terrorist watch list. The guy who packs the shirt in your envelope is not going to have his hands elbow deep in somebody's kidneys and liver and organs as he's harvesting them to send them to overseas to Bogota. Ladies and gentlemen, Bogota is a big organ harvesting hub. I've read that. But you can not only do business with legal, moral, ethical people, not some greasy, grimy, grubby, greedy grovers out there, but you can also benefit the children by buying the Fuck Jim Cornette t-shirt. It's limited edition. We're not going to have it forever. Get it as a collector's item. I'm being told by my legal representative, Stephen P. New, the consigliere of the Cult of Cornette, that this is pretty much now or will very soon be the only place to procure this particular t-shirt. So get yours now at jimcornette.com. And I mentioned the man, the myth, the legend, the Baron of the Barristers, the iconic interrogator, the Lord of the Legal Eagles, the consigliere himself, the King of Torts, the Count of Cross-Examination. I could go on and on. I already have. Stephen P. New and the newlawoffice.com, 888-692-8084. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, now with surety, with absolute certainty, because I have read, by the way, Stephen P. New has been writing writs all morning. If you've read the writs he's written, you'll know they're really well-written writs. And I have read the current writs that he's been writing, and I have never seen a lawsuit phrased so truthfully and accurately and viciously. It's amazing the work that Stephen P. New does, and he can do it for you. Because if you need to sue, you can call Stephen P. New. And whether it's a big pharmaceutical company, whether it's a big oil company, or whether it's just one of these ordinary run-of-the-mill greasy, grimy, grubby, greedy grovers, Stephen P. New will give a man one chance to do the right thing, and then he will fuck that man up. And you want that guy on your side. That's exactly what he told me.
I have to say, it is true. He is very lenient. Not lenient. He has a little bit of mercy, and he gives people a chance. However,
he's understanding when people come with the right attitude.
However, if they don't come with the right attitude, it changes very, very quickly. And boy, are some people finding that out.
But yes, so the Fuck Jim Cornette shirt, which is selling briskly, and once again, I know you folks don't mean it, but it's for the good of the kids, and at least you can do the right thing in the right way. But I don't want to create mass panic, because the behind the curtain created some national panic, crashed some internet, clogged some things up for a while. There is a new product as we speak at jimcornette.com. Bro, great Brian Last.
New product, you said.
A new product, and I'm going to talk about it now, but please do not listen to my voice. Do not go now.
Oh, this again.
Do not go now to the website and just like it's goddamn oxygen on Mars and it's the last they're ever going to fucking make. Please don't crash me. I created a national panic with Behind the Curtain. This is a fine product, but you don't have to order it right now. You can listen to me tell you about it first, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a little bit of a wrestling story behind this. Everybody knows over the last recent couple of years, I've had the Warehouse Find video DVD sale on jimcornette.com, where it was the old Wrestling Gold collection and some early, basically the only commercial videos that Smoky Mountain Wrestling did, which were done through Kit Parker and Kit Parker Films. And the Wrestling Gold set actually goes back to the 80s when it was released on VHS first, and then later on in 2001, we tried to do the DVD re-release, and it was a combination of people not being ready for nostalgia because they hadn't had good wrestling in so long, but also because I think the marketing of that, people didn't just wake up every morning and say, I think I'll go to Walmart and buy classic wrestling on DVD. We didn't hit the audience. But we've had tremendous success with the Warehouse Find sale, which were sold out of Smoky Mountain Wrestling Night of Legends. We sold out of the Double the Rumble. We have very few before they were famous is left, 3 or 4 boxes, and we're starting to run low on the Wrestling Golds. which, by the way, 10 hours of 70s and 80s wrestling in a library case autograph for $9. I'm fucking insane at JimCornette.com. But anyway, Kit Parker is a big wrestling fan. He did these, as everyone knows, or probably maybe some of the newer viewers don't. Kit has been in the film business for 40-something years, back when they used to rent the 16-millimeter film reels to show in school, right? The health films and shit. But he's done all kinds of cool entertainment films over the years, and then he transitioned to video and then to DVD. And so anyway, we had gone through and got the stuff out of the warehouse and was marketing that. But he has released another wrestling DVD in the past that is still in print. And I have now become, Brian Last, I'll have you know, an official distributor for this, distributator, as they say in the industry, Houston's Wrestling Spectacular. Because Kid is so old, he's like me. He's so old, when he was in school, they didn't have history. And he had actually licensed about 30 hours of matches from Paul Bosch before Paul passed away. And this Houston's Wrestling Spectacular is a 4-hour DVD that comprises the best of that material, all on one disc for your viewing amazement. And I can read, ladies and gentlemen, the publicity material. From the glory days of Houston wrestling come these classic matchups featuring the biggest stars in Texas wrestling history. This 4-hour disc of late 70s, early 80s battles taken straight from the library of legendary Houston promoter Paul Bosch includes Lone Star legends like Bruiser Brody, Dusty Rhodes, The Spoiler, and more, and features an incredibly rare bloody brawl between Johnny Valentine and Wild Bull Curry from the 1960s that is one of the best surviving examples of both legendary superstars at their peaks.
Everyone should own that match.
Well, that's why I got into it, because of this one match, and that's what we're going to talk about for a second here. But anyway, basically, if you go to the website now, folks, it's a 4-hour DVD. It can be autographed and personalized to your convenience and specifications. It's $15. And you get Nick Bockwinkel versus Dick Slater, Jimmy Snuka versus Ken Patera, Jack Briscoe versus The Spoiler, Dusty Rhodes versus Ken Patera, Black Gordon versus Chavo Guerrero, Dusty Rhodes versus Ivan Koloff, Dick Slater versus Alberto Madril, Dusty Rhodes versus Bruiser Brody, Ivan Koloff versus Bruiser Brody, Bull Curry versus Johnny Valentine, and The Spoiler versus Bruiser Brody. And if that's as close as you can get to seeing The Undertaker versus Bruiser Brody, since Jardine inspired Taker. And since that Dusty Rhodes and Bruiser Brody match is from 1977, Dusty is a svelte 265 or 270, and he's just boogieing all around the place. But yeah, the reason I mention this, and did I mention $15 autographed at JimCornette.com? Just click on the DVD section, folks, of collectibles. But you've seen the Bull Curry Johnny Valentine match.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it. The people need to see it. The people need to see it, Brian Last. The people need to see it. Because it's so, as I've realized now, watching it, and especially watching the last couple of days of television, the wrestling business is completely a different product now. But if you want to see two guys that drew huge money for decades each, do the very best thing that they do, and it was wrestling then. And this was not only, but a lot of people don't realize this, and Paul Bosch makes mention of it. He's doing the commentary. This was the grudge match that came off the angle where Johnny Valentine hospitalized young Flying Fred Curry, who at that point was like a rookie babyface in Detroit, where the Currys had settled, but he had been brought to Texas, and Valentine hospitalizes him. And then Wild Bull Curry, who's the most popular, superstar in Houston history over the previous 20 years, comes back after an extended absence to get even. This was the biggest crowd to see wrestling in the Sam Houston Coliseum at that point since the early 1950s, because they said 15 years. And this match was it's mislabeled on the DVD. It says 1966. It's 1969. They flipped their 6 to their 9 or whatever. But so since 1954, Paul Bosch is admitting as promoter, this is the fucking biggest crowd in 15 years because that's how hot the angle was. So these fucking people were batshit over everything. They were ready to see Bull Curry come back. What's the modern day equivalent? If Steve Austin had come back to get even for his son, right, to the WWF audience.
I guess so. I guess it's hard to think of a fair equal to Wild Bull Curry in that situation, but I guess that would be good.
Yeah, if the most kick-ass guy in the promotion's history had suddenly, his son had been hospitalized, he's coming back to get even against the top heel that's been, because Valentine was huge there through a lot of the 60s.
Maybe more like Mick Foley if he hadn't always had some silly stuff put in there, but the idea of like that brawler, that dangerous brawler
there you go.
Who we hated and then we fell in love with, and his son got attacked. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, the people were batshit, and from the start of this match, and if you get the DVD, then you can play this commentary while you're watching the match. Available at jimcornette.com. But the lockups are stiff. They manhandle each other. It looks like a struggle between Valentine is what at that time 6'4", 260 probably. Bull Curry, I don't think was fucking 5'10".
56 years old there.
He's 56 years old at that point, but his look never changed. Because he didn't get gray, he looked the same because the hair covered almost every part of his face. And he always was wrinkled, and he had those scars, and he looked like that. So the look never changed for 20 years, and his work never changed because he never did flying head scissors and shit. He fought. He had the boxing background. He used the punches, and just the stance and the body language. But nobody ever looked like Bull Curry, so he could carry it off. And plus, and just that body, my God. Jack Pfeffer, had wet dreams about Bull Curry on posters with the fucking hair and everything. But not only are the punches incredible, but the psychology too, because they set shit up and they feel each other out, and then there's a payoff. It's slow and then it's fast. Curry throws a flurry of punches and Valentine's fucking covering up and falling backwards, trying to get out of the way. And then they slow it down, and then they go into something.
2 out of 3 falls, by the way.
2 out of 3 falls. So they're not just going 100 miles an hour, even though it's supposed to be a showdown, a brawl. But Valentine looks magnificent, if I can use that word, holding Bull Curry in a front face lock or a chin lock. Because he's got the stance, and it looks like he's trying to rip the guy's head off. And watching the camera work is great. It's a 2-camera shoot. It's high quality. It's off the masters. So you get to see, instead of, just the one camera in the stands, you get to see a close-up of Bull Curry's face, selling it close up. And his body language it looks like Valentine's trying to, rip his fucking neck sideways. And then they'd blow up in a flurry again when Curry would make a comeback and people would go wild. And then suddenly Valentine wins the first fall with a small package. Surprise out of nowhere. Oh my God. Bull Curry, if you go back and watch him, you know the ear, right? You've noticed.
That he sells his ear all the time?
If you stomp his toe, if you punch him in the stomach, whatever you do to Bull Curry, he will sell his right ear. And Bobby Fulton does a great he can do Bull Curry's matches. It's amazing, right? He does a great, and Ernie Ladd, that's where he picked that up. But it's the same thing. It doesn't look hokey when he's doing it. It's just him and this weird fucking man, this weird fucking man. There's no other way to explain it. But his punches are insane. He's throwing straight rights to Valentine's face, and he's connecting enough to make it look good, but not enough to bust him open. It makes Lawler kind of look bad in some of those instances when he's just throwing them and they're fast and they come from nowhere. There's no technical wrestling here. This is not a Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. This is a fight between these two guys that Curry'd been a main event guy for 30 years.
And a brawler.
Valentine was just the tough guy, and he would hammer the fucking shots in. Johnny Valentine hit hard. This fucking guy's nearly 60, and he's taking them. It's a grudge match, and Valentine worked more of Bull Curry style here than Curry was working Valentine's, because Valentine not only was the younger guy, even though he'd been a main event guy for fucking 15 years at this point, but he was the Ric Flair of this instance. He was the performer there. And Bull Curry was more of a gimmick. But then fucking in the second fall, Curry starts fucking pickling him, and you can even catch Valentine doing his little deal, his little gig, right? And the fans are doing the whoo on every, not whoo like Flair, but just woo, he's hit him on every fucking shot. And Valentine's facials are insane. He looks insane. He probably was.
That's the point. Because, you mentioned the match looks like a struggle. For a while there, he struggles with the blade, it seems like. But once he gets to color and Bull starts throwing those punches in, the way the light hits Valentine's face.
Yeah.
And they get that close up. And each punch, he sells each punch with his face. And it's incredible. That is, when you hear all those stories about what Johnny Valentine was, that may be the best example right there. In terms of just the match building up to that point where he finally goes down.
Yeah, and where he's finally obviously facially getting his ass kicked when he never puts anything over, never any fear, never any pain, and then suddenly, and those eyes, right? And then Curry wins the second fall when he just knocks fucking Valentine's dick stiff, and he falls and he's get counted out on the apron. And so Curry wins second fall by count out, and the people lose their fucking shit. They just go crazy. And then the third fall is straight into a hockey fight, and they go straight to the floor, and they go around the ring a time or two while Bull Curry kicks shit out of Johnny Valentine, and they both get counted out. And the people are and the big pull apart with the referees and the officials. And Valentine, the heel, shows weakness and is led out, and Bull Curry gets in the ring. The whole third fall takes 2 minutes, and he gets a standing ovation from the people, and they're chanting his name.
No, it's bigger than that. It's one of the coolest things about that match. And, we've done so many segments on the Super Podcast talking about Bull Curry because I'm fascinated with the guy. What a fascinating character. Unheralded, should be in the Observer Hall of Fame. And we talked with Bobby Fulton about it. And he mentioned this before I saw this part of the match. But at the end of the match, again, third fall count out. You would think the fans would be like, oh, shit, a fucking count out. No, they're totally into it. They surround the ring and start pounding on the ring. And Bobby said that he remembers that in Ohio. He remembers sometimes Bull Curry would wrestle and the fans would get around the ring at the end and just pound on the ring. And he would just stand there celebrating, not really celebrating, but by himself after his victory. And that's one of the striking things is the fans are so into it. They just surround the ring and they're just pounding on that ring.
Well, and here is, for all the fans out there going, oh my God, how could they react to we got fucked on the finish? No, here's the thing. The overall story of the match that's told is that Johnny Valentine, who is locally billed as the United States champion at that time, he got the only pin in the 2 out of 3 fall match, and he got the first fall. So the champion is protected, and the regular heel is protected against the visiting legend. But then Bull Curry, the visiting legend, knocks the heel out with his fucking biggest weapon, which is the right hand in the second fall. And then there's no winner in the third fall, but Bull Curry takes the moral victory as Valentine has to give up the ground to Bull Curry, who then accepts his standing ovation. But still, Valentine will be back next week as the fucking champion and the regular top heel. It's so everybody was in a perfect place. Very nice. Anyway, at JimCornette.com, you can find that Houston's Wrestling Spectacular up now as you go to the website, or it better be for only $15 for 4 hours.
For as little Johnny Valentine footage as there is even less Bull Curry footage.
Yeah, well, especially because this was still 1969, so there's not a lot of that footage around. Thankfully, Paul Bosch, was one of those promoters who was ahead of his time, and plus because this was the main event of the biggest house in 15 years, I have a feeling that's why this footage got pushed to the, fucking main part of Paul's shelf. But, he was so huge, especially in Boston and the Northeast in the 40s, even for Paul Bowser, Curry was, and being from Hartford, Connecticut. And then, the 50s everywhere. And then Sheik loved him. In Detroit, he was huge. And Sheik was able to. That was the Wild Bull Curry, Abdullah the Butcher, the Sheik, the crazy folks territory for so many years.
But I think Texas was his biggest, I mean, and then he, obviously he did a lot of stuff in New England with Tony Santos and Jack Pfeffer years later. But I think when I think of Wild Bull Curry, the first thing I think of is Texas, because he was there from the early 50s through the late 70s. I mean, there's the famous story, and it's a sad story, where I guess Paul Bosch booked Wild Bull Curry, his great brawler from the previous generation, against Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
And Gary Hart said, this is a big mistake. Don't do it, because Brody's not going to sell for him. And it turned into a really sad display for an aging, at that point he was in his 60s, Wild Bull Curry.
Well, yeah, and it was the Bruiser Crusher versus Road Warriors thing in Chicago. The generations, and this didn't do this because Curry could still carry the ball, and Valentine was, so hot, and it just worked. And visually, there was nothing the matter with it. But then suddenly, when you go over 10 years later, I think it was probably Bull Curry's last match. And, like you said, Paul Bosch thought it would work. But just to see Bull Curry at that point standing next to Bruiser Brody, it couldn't work anymore. Visually, things mean something, as we will find out as we do our reviews later on.
Too bad he never got a run in Memphis. He would have been great on that studio show.
Oh, my God. But you know what? Actually, when you mentioned he was over in Texas, but he didn't stay there full time through those years. He went in for runs, and it was like Roughhouse Fargo at the end, where it became just coming in for shots based on the name. But through the 50s and 60s, he had large runs, but he still was, all over the country.
And again, Texas at that time, the Dallas booking office was, other than West Texas, I mean, that pretty much was Texas. So he would come in and he would work Houston. He would also work Dallas, and then all the small towns.
But nothing small when Bull Curry's in it. Anyway, speaking of things that people were in, where there's a segue, the Dark Side of the Ring, folks. Evan Husney, Jason, the director, did not come this time in person. He was on Skype. He had previous commitments with a wedding or something. I don't know. But anyway, the whole crew from Dark Side of the Ring this past week spent 2 days here at the Castle. Season 2, as we mentioned, is going to be 10 episodes. I am sworn to secrecy, but this show is just going to be so fantastic everybody already knows it was for the wrestling fans and non-wrestling fans alike last year because it got such rave reviews. But this season is going to focus more on stories that either some of the modern fans won't know, that have never really been told properly, or that have never been told from these perspectives, mixed in with some of the stories that you may know, but then the reenactments are so cool and the things you get to see. So it's going to be, but I was offended at one thing in the Twitterverse. Evan tweeted, did you see this? The shot of me playing pool down in the bar in the Castle.
See that. And apparently it surprised a lot of people that you had these skills to display.
Well, it was just one shot, but basically, it's the old deal where I'm going to go and shoot the fucking 15 ball in a side pocket, but the one is in the way. And I use the cue ball and jump the one and put the 15 in the side. But I'll have you know that people were tweeting immediately after, well, that's illegal. That's illegal. You can't do that. The ball, it says here in the rule book, and the ball, you can't leave the ball. Motherfucker, it's my castle, my pool table, my fucking game. It's legal. If I say it's legal, it's legal. So there you go. But I was offended by that. People, that shot's illegal. Who says?
You old-time billiard fans need to get with the times. Things change. It's a new style.
Yeah. We fly a lot. We jump things.
The moves don't matter. It's just about the high spots.
Anyway, speaking of moves that matter, what was it that we said about 3 or 4 months ago? Boy, Eric Bischoff is going to have to move to Connecticut. I'm not even trying to knock Eric Bischoff or glorify anything here, but what the fuck? Now they've just hired him and just the show was only on Fox for a fucking week. And we talked about this. Why would you take a job at this point working for this company when people, it's worse than Trump's administration? You get hired, you get fired, you're in, you're out. He moved to fucking Connecticut, did he not?
Well, I think he was in an apartment. I don't think he sold his house and got up and moved everything.
Well, fuck.
I hope not, at least. I hope not.
Ay. I mean, how can you be how can you suck that bad that they fire you when the show's only been on a network for a week? What happened? What is the cause of all this?
You know, I'm not a big Eric Bischoff defender, but I think the problem's a little less Mr. Bischoff and a little more Mr. McMahon. I think Vince is shot, and they need to get him the hell out of the way and have him stop making decisions, and also stop putting people like Bruce Pritchard, who are there just to be his conduit, just to kiss his ass and never do anything but exactly what Vince would want in charge of a television show is a disaster. There's Bruce
he started on the creative team. That was the big announcement. But I guess he didn't move up there full time because, you know, he still doing his podcasts and stuff, right?
It's like Trump putting William Barr as the Attorney General.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. But now from Bruce's, but why did Bruce want to do this? Because now he's next in line to get fired again. Because I haven't heard anything of what Bruce has been doing already past the big announcement that surprised everybody Bruce was going back. And now he's doing this. I didn't hear anything that Bischoff fucked up to get fired. Why are they just hiring and firing people and changing positions willy-nilly? How does anybody want to do that? Why does anybody say, well, I'll take this job? Why does anybody want to work in the Trump administration? Well, I'll take this job. And then 3 months later, you get fired and the fucking boss is yelling at you on the way out. I don't understand. I'll just be over here if you need me. I'll be glad to come by and visit, but I'll go return to my own home, thank you, at the end of the evening.
So after Bruce flames out, if you get a phone call, you know, hey, pal, you know, how would you like to make lots of money and come here? I'll give you autonomy. I'll let you do whatever you want, you know, which will last a day. What do you say?
I don't think. Well, no, I don't think that's
going to run SmackDown on Fox, Cornette on national TV.
Are they going to do it from Louisville? Freedom Hall's a beautiful building. Every Friday night at Freedom Hall in Louisville, WWE SmackDown. I want to know who had the autonomy to do the Hell in the Cell thing, because I finally watched that. I watched part of it.
You know, we heard from so many listeners upset that you didn't review it on the drive-thru. I couldn't believe how many people wanted to hear you talk about this.
Well, you're going to hear it now. And here are my Hell in a Cell thoughts. As we used to say down south, boy, that right there is a blue ribbon prize-winning pig. Holy fuck. That was the ugliest fucking thing I have ever seen in my... Number one, I couldn't watch it all because I started trying to watch the match from the beginning, but the red light... And not only the red light, but the shots through the cage with the red light. I was getting a headache within 2 minutes. So everybody thought the finish sucked, so I'll just skip ahead to the finish. Well, but I skip it because it's supposedly this whole presentation, as they say, is 20-something minutes long. I go to about 15 minutes in, and the fucking guy's already laying there. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, is already laying there. And he's got a ladder on him. And then here's Seth Rollins hits the fucking, he proceeds to hit the ladder with a chair, and then he puts a chair on, and then he hits it with a toolbox. And he just keeps smacking and bashing this fucking dead body underneath all this shit in this red light, giving me a fucking headache. And then he's looking conflicted and walking around like, because you can tell the writers have had a part in this, where they've said, now show this emotion. And now show that emotion. Even though the emotion that everybody else was showing was, boo, fuck you, this shit sucks. The whole place was booing him out of the building. Because it was a shitty thing to look at, and it was preposterous that it couldn't possibly fucking happen. And the guy's not even bleeding underneath all this shit when his head should have been squished like a fucking bug. And then he gets out and gets the sledgehammer. And then he sledgehammers the fucking chair on top of the ladder, on top of the toolbox, and a blah, blah, blah. And apparently that's just too much for the fucking referee. Now the goddamn metal folding chair swung at full momentum onto the metal ladder onto the guy's face. That was permissible within the rules of wrestling. And when you took the toolbox and just wore that motherfucker out with it, just hitting metal over the top of his skull repeatedly like a fucking madman, that was sportsmanlike. But then suddenly, you fucking idiots, whoever fucked this whole goddamn thing up and killed Seth Rollins in the process, possibly the best all-around talent they've got on the roster today, and the people are booing him out of the building because of the stupid shit that he's being told to do. That was too much, and the referee says, fuck it, and then they just try to carry this fucking guy out. And here's the thing. If they were gonna fuck the people on that finish, the people would have been soundly fucked. But at least maybe they would have had the feeling that, well, it wasn't the worst fuck I ever had. I mean, I didn't really like it, but it wasn't that bad. My asshole's not bleeding. And then they proceeded to turn around and make their asshole bleed. Because the match got stopped because the guy had been pummeled with a sledgehammer and could not continue. And then when they're trying to load him up on the stretcher, he comes off the stretcher and mandible claws Seth Rollins and beats the piss out of him. So there was no reason to stop it because the indestructible supernatural creature was doing okay for himself. What the fuck? I don't know who had anything to do with that, and I don't ever want to know if it's anybody I like because that's the most miserable piece of shit. And there was no way to sell that where that could possibly have been good, where anybody could go, oh, okay, and then they just did it wrong. No, it just fucking sucked.
Did you hear all the chanting?
Well, yes. Besides all the booing and chanting of refund and AEW and fuck you and fuck this and fuck that and fuck everything.
Now, you're the creator of Hell in a Cell, correct?
I did not name it, and I did not come up with any of the individual concepts on my own. What I did was put them all together in that same place. For the Bad Blood pay-per-view, which I believe was the first one, it was a Hell in a Cell for Taker and fucking Mick. I'm sorry, in 96, King of the Ring, whatever the fuck. The point
Taker
is,
and Shawn was the first one, I think, right?
Taker and no, because Taker and Shawn was at Bad Blood. That was 97. Wasn't King of the Ring 90? Whichever the first one was. You've got the cage that they had in Memphis that went not only around the ring, but around ringside. That's when Tommy Rich came out from under the ring and they shaved Lawler's head. That's so guys could fight outside the ring. You had a top on it. That's you're right, Taker and Shawn Michaels, because Kane ripped the fucking cage door off. You have the fucking top on it like War Games. That's where I stole that from. You have Kane rip the cage off and interfere in Taker and Michaels like that Doug Furnace did in Knoxville, Christmas night of 1988, when they debuted him as the world's strongest man. I just took all that shit and put it all together in the same place. But yes. And I'm offended. I'm offended by what they've done to my baby. No, that was fucking rotten.
Now they incorporate the Ole Anderson move where you can lift the cage up with a remote control.
I know, and it's such an inescapable foreboding structure that they flipped a fucking switch and it was up in the air in 15 seconds. It just, what the fuck? No, somebody should be fucking taken out and hung in the parking lot over that one. Yes, most definitely.
The red light was awful.
Speaking of awful stuff that people want their money back on, what are you doing on your shows this week?
Well, that's a heck of a way to build into my show.
Well,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
There's been a lot of complaints that the big, super duper, King Kong, mega Godzilla fucking 605, the super podcast that everybody's been waiting on has not come out yet.
That's right.
And you have been suitably chastened on the internet because people have been waiting, like, as we've mentioned, for Tom Schultz to put out Boston's fucking third album. The people are the record company now, waiting with bated breath, and it does smell just like it sounds like it would. But I must defend you.
Huh.
Even though I shouldn't, because it's good fucking programming, I must, because you have been going over and above and beyond with Cornette programming which the people obviously demand and clamor for, and all the other programs you do for other people that you don't want them to look bad, the Ron Fullers of the world and the Bowdrins and the Berries and the George the Blimp Harrises and all the people. So what has suffered is your own teeny tiny little program, and you haven't had time to finish that mega Godzilla episode. What is it, number 100?
Number 100, and for the record, there's no Bunk Harris podcast. I assure everyone, I will not use up any bandwidth for that.
You know, that would be just like if Bull Curry was around now, he'd be a fucking superstar because there'd be nobody like him. If George Bunk Harris, the baby blimp, George 2-Ton Harris, if he was around now, that'd be the funniest podcast. And put him and Klondike Bill in a room and just let them bounce off each other.
Well, this week on the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network, a few notes. The Super Studcast, available for patrons of the Studcast at patreon.com/studcast. Ron Fuller speaks with the assassin, Jody Hamilton, for 80 minutes. Hear about debuting as a 19-year-old in the Garden.
That's just when they said hello after not having talked in a couple of weeks.
Find out for yourself. They talk about everything from the Garden in 58 debuting against Antonina Rocca in the main event. I can't even imagine that. Can you imagine 19 years old, 1958 debuting in the main event against Rocca and Perez?
No, not only 19 years old and debuting in the main event of Sold Out Madison Square Garden in New York against Rocca and Perez, but having come from a small farm in rural Missouri and probably not having seen a television set until the previous year. That's where Jody Hamilton was at that point. That was mind-blowing.
So hear about this, check it out, everything from Rocca to the Missouri Mauler and so much more, patreon.com/studcast. Last week, I mentioned a brand new podcast coming to the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network. Get ready for the Mid-Atlantic Championship Podcast coming very soon, hosted by Mike Sempervive and Roman Gomez. You can check it out right now at midatlanticpod.com, and it should be on iTunes and everywhere else in the next couple of days. And
Will you do me a favor?
Yes.
Will you get Mike to fucking change his name?
What do you mean?
Because it's like somebody had a fucking last name, and then all of a sudden they decided to change it, and they start another name, but they don't quite finish it. Sempervive. You don't really know where the fucking direction that's going. When you start it, when you finish it, it sounds all bumfuzzled. It's like there's a town in North Carolina called Rutherfordton. But, you know, Rutherfordton, North Carolina, didn't flow off it sounded like they stopped in the middle, like it should have been Rutherfordtonville or Rutherfordton Borough.
So what should Sempervive be? Where should you cut that
He should
off?
either be Mike Semper or Mike Vivi Semper or just take off the Vivi, because it sounds it sounds unnatural. Vivi. Mike Sempervive. Hello, folks. I'm Mike Sempervive. It's a whole different philosophy, a whole different feel, a whole different emotion, a whole different flavor. Semper, like Semper Fi, like you're a Marine, and then Vivi, like que sera, sera, Vivi.
Well, speaking of Mike Sempervive, he will be filling in this week for me on John Arezzi's Pro Wrestling Spotlight then and now, because I am working aggressively on 605 episode 100. Mike filling in for me. Here, a interesting show, interviews with Sting and Flying Brian Pillman, as well as an interesting studio invasion of sorts. Mark Tendler and a bunch of Italian gentlemen to talk about a new organization they're starting for children. It's called Wrestlers Against Drugs, or WAD, and they want the kids to be little wads, and you gotta hear this. It's out of control.
Make sure that all your children have wads.
That's right. So find out how you can become a little wad at pwspod.com or wherever it is that you find your favorite podcast. And of course, the 605 Super Podcast, the Mothership.
I can't kick you while you're down.
I thank you, and I'll get right back to work as soon as we're done with these exciting reviews you're about to hear. But go through the archives today at 605pod.com. And of course, stay in touch on Twitter at 605pod or follow at Great Brian Last. The Mothership.
All right. Anyway, real briefly, we talked about on last week's program the overnight success, which has now become an overweek success of the first episode of NWA Power on YouTube, which now is somewhere around 500,000 fucking views on YouTube from as we record this now about 8 days ago. So, and I appreciate everybody because my Twitter, and of course the second episode was just up Tuesday evening. As we record this, it's Thursday afternoon. They're already, I didn't even check since last night, but it was over 100,000 in the first 24 hours. So a lot of people are digging the show. And of course, the cosplay wrestling critics like to, oh, it's so old fashioned. But I think that's what the idea is. And that's why people are so interested. It's the only wrestling show today, good, bad, or indifferent, that actually looks different than everything else in philosophy as well as programming. But anyway, the one thing I will say, and I will move on to our reviews this week about the NWA Power programs, is you know what I didn't need to do on the first show, Brian?
What you didn't need to do? No.
What I didn't need to do.
No.
I didn't need to take any notes. I didn't need to write this shit down because after I watched the 1 hour program, I knew that the Dawson brothers are big, mean, fat fuckers with tattoos and beards that are 300 and something pounds apiece. And while they may be fat fucks, you wouldn't tell them that to their face if you were in a bar with them. I found out that Eli Drake is a big loud mouth, but he can kind of back it up because he beat that young Caleb Conley in a pretty good match. Cowboy James Storm is the national champion, and he can talk his ass off. And he was fucking with Josephus, who was a goof, but he wasn't a goof like he was acting like a goof. You get the idea, and many people who will know Josephus in person will bear this out, that he is goofy. The wild card are the tag team champions, and they got problems with Eddie Kingston and Homicide. They're probably going to fight about this. And Nick Aldis carries himself like a champion, and he defended his title on the program against the former champion, who came across as a sympathetic figure because of his legitimate background as a school teacher and the fact that he thought that his wrestling career was over when he had a little second lease on life and is in amazing condition for his age. That's all I had to worry about for the whole fucking program. I didn't have to goddamn keep track of statistics. I didn't have to fucking write everybody's name down and figure out how to spell it. I didn't have to keep track of multiple over and over diving and throwing and landing and plopping and shitting about. So if you want to watch the NWA on YouTube Tuesdays, actually anytime, but a new show comes out every Tuesday at 6:05 Eastern. But you can subscribe and shit and see a regular old-fashioned wrestling program where people try to get over. And also, while they're at it on YouTube, have we mentioned to the people lately that we continue to set records on YouTube and that our stuff is through the roof and how they can find it?
We haven't in a while. You usually limit the bragging to a few times a month.
Well, start bragging. Tell the people, listen to our YouTube too, or watch our YouTube. Well, watch the tube and listen to it at the same time.
tinyurl.com/official corny YouTube, or just go to YouTube and search for Jim Cornette. It will be the very first thing that pops up. The official Jim Cornette YouTube channel. We give you full episodes. We give you clips from the episodes of the most popular segments. We also give you omnibus collections and more to come. Check out the amazing and exclusive Travis Heckel artwork. It pops everyone every single time. It is the one and only official source for Jim Cornette audio on YouTube, with the exception of the archive, which is currently available on the Arcadian Vanguard video channel. But check it out today and subscribe, as so many of you have, and thank you to all the new subscribers this month.
Anyway, should we talk about these two television programs? People wondered how long it would take me to get tired of this and want to go back to my regular Wednesday tape, Thursday air podcast schedule. And last night was the night. No, we're going to stick with it for the rest of the month. But I don't even want to go into as horribly critical detail as I usually do, because especially on one of these shows, I'll get bored. I'll get bored with it. But should we start as we usually do with All Elite? I watch that because there's the possibility of a train wreck because of so many amateur and highly untrained people involved.
Well,
should we start with that?
We've been starting with what you've watched first, and I'll say I've watched All Elite first each week live and DVR'd NXT, and this was the week during the episode where I said, you know what, I may switch that next week and DVR All Elite and watch NXT live.
Well, there you go.
And I've been pretty positive about their show, but this week changed it.
All right, from the top, All Elite Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. If you're playing at home, for those of you keeping score, I'm just going to have a few of the things I jotted down, and we're going to talk about what happened. Visually, this is WCW television. Visually, this is WCW TV. And it's very professional, but the pyro looks same, stage looks same, entrances look same, different videos, but it's not. I see what they're going for with NXT. They're trying to do a young, hip, cutting-edge looking underground show, and it comes off as dark. I don't mean dark in a dark humor type of way. I mean, I want some more fucking light so I can see dark. But this just looks like it's very professional and done very well, but it's no different to me visually than WCW TV from 20 years ago. The Lucha Brothers came out and attacked SCU and laid out Chris Daniels, and did that look like a stagey pro wrestling style, this is an angle type of beatdown instead of they're going to take one team out of the tournament because the Lucha Brothers want to win the tournament, right? It's the same principle as when the Midnight Express attacked the Rock and Roll Express before their match with Tully and Arn, which led to Tully and Arn beating them for the tag team title in the spring of '87, correct? It didn't look so stagey when we jumped Ricky Morton and fucking injured his arm and left him fucking laying in the goddamn in the goddamn floor.
Well, you also weren't at the base of a stage.
Well, it might have looked stagey because it was on a stage. Yeah, because it was on stage instead of out in the fucking people or whatever the fuck. But anyway, they put Daniels on the backboard, and as soon as they did that, it killed it for me because anybody who's ever been put on a backboard by legitimate medical professionals knows that you can't do it in 60 seconds, which is what this took. They won't do it. They were trying to act like they were doing it the proper way, but no, you're laying there for a fucking while before you get on that board. So it was just hokey. If you're going to do something where somebody gets strapped to a backboard or carried out on a stretcher, stop the show down, allow the time for it, and do it legitimately. Why just fucking do it? And, of course, Scorpio Sky offered to substitute, which was great that he was in his fucking street clothes. That was fine. If they'd even just help Chris to the back, it's to the backboard. It's fake. It's fakey for no reason.
You know what bothered me? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but we've seen SCU a bunch in the various shows we've watched. This is the only time that all three of them didn't come out together, isn't it?
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
I mean, maybe I'm forgetting an occasion or two, but that was what immediately triggered me to something must be going on. The fact that it was only Daniels and Kazarian, and I was like, oh, where's Scorpio Sky? I expected something to happen right from that moment.
Now that you mentioned it, I've only seen him a couple times, but yeah, it seems like that. Anyway, so it's best friends against SCU, Sky, and Kazarian, and Daniels is hurt. And, of course, that fucking Chuck Taylor, hatchet-headed, club-footed, lurch-looking motherfucker is a black hole of fucking charisma. Not only does he have no charisma, but he sucks out the charisma of those around him. They just suddenly did a bunch of shit in this match. There was Chuck Taylor was biting Scorpio Sky's toes when he knocked his tennis shoes off. There was no tags. They were just doing four-way bullshit for a while. Then they started tagging so they could get heat on the babyface. Kazarian, why the fuck? Number one, the people cheer when best friends hug. But yet they look goofy, and in this case, they were heels because they started to get some heat on fucking Kazarian. But SCU knocks the towns that they are in, and I'm a fan of all three of those guys, but they knock the town they're in and insult the people. but yet they're cheered. Are they who the fuck is supposed to be baby faces and heels around here?
It's a post babyface and heel world, according to some AEW executives.
Well, it ain't. That's the only thing it ain't. But finally, Kazarian gets a hot tag to Sky, and Sky has great athleticism. But overall, this was a boiling fucking hot mess, except for Scorpio Sky. After Frankie Kazarian sold, then he jumped up and kicked ass. Then the Best Friends did the worst ever. What is it? The worst ever totally rotten, very, very bad day. The worst ever totally rotten, very, very bad, horrible, illegal blind tag. They did a back slap while not holding while the guy walked down the apron, so he wasn't either holding the rope or had his hand on the fucking buckle, and did a back slap blind tag. It just was a fucking mess. The Best Friends hug and the people pop. And they do a big double team on Kazarian for a 2 count. And then they do more indie shit on the apron and the floor to each other. And then SCU botched a double team finish. But they botched the finish, but still won with it. But the way that Scorpio Sky was obviously fucking distraught and showing that he was distraught over the fact that he did botch this because he didn't get with it in time, made it look like an angle that they're going to have a disagreement later on down the road. Would they really do a move badly that looks bad in order to then work a disagreement that they'll have down the road because Scorpio Sky is botching shit up? Could they go that far down an album cut road that would lead to nowhere? Or did he just botch it up and was obviously tore up about it?
It's all about deep cuts and cheap pops now, so maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, just rotten. Okay, here comes Ortiz and Santana against John Silver and Alex Reynolds. And Ortiz and Santana's entrance video is LAX Light. I like these guys, but it's just if they're not going to call themselves LAX, do some different shit. Silver was barely taller than the top rope, and it was a squash for LAX. And they're heels, and they're in the top heel group, but they're getting cheered like crazy. And they're doing nothing to get heat in the match because they're working like Rick Steiner in the Varsity Club. They're working goofy heel likable. So why are the heels not trying to get heat? Why do I not know who the heels are? There was a VTR where Jericho challenged the Bucks on Santana and Ortiz's behalf, and that was fine because he did it better than they would have. And then there was a package on Cody for his upcoming match with Jericho that was, imagine this, a package on Cody was done well, had work put into it, and everybody looked and was dressed professionally and took everything seriously. Why is it that happens? Is he the only smart one in the whole fucking organization?
Overall, it was a nice little package, but I didn't like the beginning. There's something so preposterous and phony about him sitting there and Brandy going off their busy itinerary and he's just daydreaming. There was something so corny about that. I hate that kind of shit.
I could have done without the Gilligan's Island zone out in my own.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But
spending too much time with DDP, you don't have to film everything.
There's no silliness though.
Yeah,
everything's being treated as important. He's being treated as a star, whether they're making an attempt to be believable. And then they come to, guess what? I've been wanting to see Dr. Britt Baker, right? Guess who she's wrestling? Riho. You know, Riho should be one of those fucking Swiss cough drops where they yodel. Like instead of Ricola, it should be Riho. Oh, Riho. This is just fucking preposterous. And I tried to watch it. I did watch it because I want to see Britt Baker, but Riho is so fucking green. Yes, she can do some gymnastics. She can't wrestle. She's fucking green. I think her basics suck. She has no body weight whatsoever to make this functional in any way to begin with. And there was Britt Baker trying to get something out of her, and obviously having pitfalls along the way. The announcers started plugging the upcoming live events. That's when you know you're death. It was awkward. Poor Tony Schiavone needed a shot of adrenaline, and one of those things like they in fucking Pulp Fiction to wake the fucking chick up from the OD, just fucking right in the chest because Schiavone was going to pass out. And then Britt Baker goes for her stretch and her mandible claw finish, and Riho rolls her up 1, 2, 3. I wrote rotten, ! Shits, ! Killed Britt Baker, ! Because Kenny Olivier has a Japanese schoolgirl anime fetish we've all got to suffer, including Britt Baker. She looks so awkward with the little girl because the little girl's awkward trying to wrestle. And Britt Baker, I don't believe, is a fucking gymnast. She's not Nadia Comaneci or Olga Corbett. So what, seriously, what'd you think?
I thought it was a nice finish, but
the compliment sandwich, this Stewie Griffin guy. I'll start out with a compliment.
But, it was a clumsy match, and I don't know who to point the fingers at. I mean, look, Riho has had like 20 years experience, apparently, even though she's like 22 or whatever the fuck.
Well, but the thing is, she's had experience doing that fucking Japanese girls video game wrestling. I'm not saying she can't do the cannonballs and the backflips. But here's the thing. What Britt Baker can't do.
But here's the thing. Hear me out on this. Take Riho out of the picture. Pretend this exact match happened with Britt Baker versus anyone else. And I've seen a few Britt Baker matches right now. And I think Britt Baker has something. I mean, this is someone who could be a big star in female wrestling, easily. With that said, she's been wrestling for, what did they say, 2 years? And I think it shows. Do you think someone with that sort of potential, it does them a disservice to be on this sort of platform this earlier in their career? And again, I'm not trying to put her, I actually think there's something there, but I think there's been spots in each match where it just seems like she may not be ready for prime time.
Well, no, she ain't ready for prime time against Riho. She'd be ready for prime time just fine if she was in with a girl that was at her size or comparable, maybe even hopefully, since Britt's a babyface, bigger, and was a veteran in American wrestling. And I'm sorry, I don't give fuck you, blow me, suck my big fat fucking dick. If you're going to tell me that this girl has fucking 13 years of experience because she turned pro when she was fucking 9. Did I mention fuck you, blow me, suck my big fat white dick? I'm not going to say that someone has had 13 years of experience as a professional wrestler when they're 22 years old and 98 pounds. It should have been an American girl with 6 or 7 or 8 years of experience that knew her spot there, which would have been to get Britt Baker over. Instead of this fucking shit that we got from this goddamn, it's children's wrestling. Let's go ahead and leap ahead. The biggest thing, get this over with. This is what everybody wants to hear. Fucking tag team tournament match. Luchasaurus gets hurt, tears a hamstring or whatever. So what do they do in their tag team tournament match? To partner with fucking Jungle Boy against the Lucha Brothers, the supposedly hottest, biggest stars in Lucha Libre today, tag team, and a big name to all the independent wrestling fans. I've seen him in MLW. Who partners with Jungle Boy besides Luchasaurus? Marco fucking Stunt. Marco fucking Stunt. Now, I know I read on the internet afterwards that Luchasaurus hurt his hamstring. Excalibur's mush-mouth fucking delivery tried to tell us in this match, but I couldn't understand him because he sounded like a mark calling wrestling in his friend's basement on VHS, which he's one generation removed from. And so let's see, what else could they have done? So people said, well, they had to get the match was advertised. They wanted to give the people as close to what was advertised. Here's what they could have done. Luchasaurus is hurt. Jungle Boy's a future fucking star. Instead of just burying him and killing him deader than 4 o'clock. Let's let Jungle Boy wrestle one of the Lucha Brothers in a single match. Winner advances. Because since the Lucha Brothers were advancing, it wouldn't hurt Jungle Boy to do a job as a single, one of these veterans. He could get some sympathy. Let's say Jungle Boy's got to challenge both of them. He's got to wrestle both of them, like the old fucking tag team deal. And they beat him 2-on-1. Or let's say a fucking babyface, like that needs a nice, good, solid fucking showing and a win, like an Adam Page. Let's say that 2-on-1, the Lucha Brothers handicap match beat the fuck out of Jungle Boy, and he's selling, and the people are behind him, and finally out comes Adam Page to take the tag. And he gets the hot tag, and he cleans house, and he beats the fucking Lucha Brothers. But because they're heels, they complain to AEW and to whoever their fucking commissioner / matchmaker / running the fucking show is on the air, and they're going to have to figure that out. And AEW rules that the decision is invalid because Adam Page was not part of the fucking match. So the Lucha Brothers, as heels, advance even though they lost, and it doesn't make any difference on their record. Or any one of or just postpone the goddamn match. But instead, in a tag team tournament, supposedly for your World Tag Team Championship, on national television, on a show on TNT that's only been on for 3 fucking weeks, you put Marco Stunt. Fuck the fact that you're going to get him hurt. I've been saying this, they're going to get this kid hurt. I don't care anymore. He's already been hurt. He hurt himself before. He's going to do it again. I'm not even worried about him now because he is as big a part of this fucking fiasco as the rest of these enablers and fuckwits. Fuck you, Marco Stunt. I might have wanted to be goddamn Ron Jeremy at one point, but I didn't have the equipment for it, so I watched the movies. I didn't participate in them. You fucking little dweeb, you twit shit, you fuckwad. You're an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment they put this small fucking child. That's all over Twitter. It's an embarrassment. It's people calling me on the phone right now. Hold on one second. Yes, I agree. It's embarrassing what they did on AEW. And as soon as I finish recording my podcast, I'll call you back and tell you more about it personally. But right now you're on the air, so bye. See? They're calling all over the place. They're talking about it. It was an embarrassment. They put Marco Stunt on television for the people that they're trying to get to watch their program. Yes, the defective-minded cosplay wrestling fans that see nothing wrong in this. Oh, well, at least he got beat. No shit. The 5-foot fucking 98-pound fucking computer game nerd got beat. Big fuck with the flousy hair and the fucking sunken chest and the sallow body and the fucking pale, fishy white physique. He was in a professional wrestling ring with other wrestlers. I'm astonished that not only did they kill all the credibility of their tag team championship, Stacy walked in the room and looked at the screen and laughed and said, "What is this guy, a midget?" and walked out. On Twitter, a bunch of people said we saw this and could take no more. The Lucha Brothers, I can't fucking believe that they did not refuse to be involved in this, and I hope that TNT does not air in Mexico. It's embarrassing. Whoever thought that this should fly should be shot. And I can tell you right now, they're supposed to be wanting to kick Vince McMahon's ass in this big wrestling war that they're already fucking losing with shit like this. I guarantee you that Kevin Dunn or Bruce Pritchard or somebody else high, way up high in Vince McMahon's colon turned that program on and pointed Vince's face to it and said, "Look what they've got on TV opposite our show." And they all started laughing. And they were right to. They were completely justified in making mockery of this horse shit. So fuck all y'all. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy should have won the whole fucking thing. And I hope that Luchasaurus is not hurt badly, but that they have this fucking little fucking prick, this little uncircumcised, hatchet-headed goof with them, and he's pretending to be a professional wrestler, and you people are enabling it on your air, is going to cost you the fucking wrestling war. Not to mention a bunch of 1,000 fucking people watching who just scoff, laugh, and turn the channel because they're not part of your fucking bubble, you dimwits, you nitwits. And there's a picture-in-picture during the break of this match went a break. He had offense. The Lucha Brothers were selling for the small child. And it had picture-in-picture during a break so that people could tell that it wasn't safe yet to switch over from NXT. So anyway, it was a complete embarrassment to the business. They beat on Marco Stunt through the whole break and didn't beat him. Then he made his own comeback before giving Jungle Boy a rotten cold tag, which I would have fired him for to begin with, even if he wasn't a goddamn glorified fucking midget. And then he was doing dives and 450s 30 seconds later after they beat on him through the whole break and had beat on him some more before that. Then the Mexicans did a bunch of shit and they beat Marco Stunt. And it was a fucking embarrassment to the profession. And this is exactly what I knew was going to happen when all their buddies got jobs, because Tony Khan is a fucking mark and his father's rich and he got sold a bill of goods by a bunch of suckers that are high on themselves and live in this world where they think that the goofy shit they do gets over. This was the epitome of exactly what the fuck is going to happen to this fucking company. A 98-pound Japanese schoolgirl beat the most marketable American female that they probably have on their roster, followed by a 100-pound fucking goof who looks like a pus-filled pocket pussy flinging around one of their top tag teams in their tag team title tournament. What did you think?
I had a big problem with the match, too. I said if they're going to do this, the Lucha Brothers need to destroy them right away. If not, what's the point? Why does every match have to go 20 minutes? Again, it goes back to that. At least on NXT, they have some squash matches. And I get it, this is part of the tournament, but it looks ridiculous. And I've heard people say, oh, well, casuals may like it. I can tell you, my kids saw it and they thought it was weird. They weren't really interested enough to stay in the room. And have you seen some of the arguments against your point of view on Twitter? The whole, you're against fun or you have a problem with smaller wrestlers getting a chance.
Oh, yeah, they compared this little fucking idiot to Rey Mysterio. That's like comparing the fucking guy that fucking delivers my Chinese food from Lou's Garden to Bruce Lee. The similarity ends there. You fucking morons. Rey Mysterio was a goddamn once in a fucking generation athlete who still looked physically, even though he was smaller, a whole lot better than this little fucking dweeb, who also grew up around wrestling and had the benefit of his family and the entire culture of Lucha Libre to educate him from a young age. And or then there's Marco Stunt. Fuck you fucking morons. That's why I block all these idiots. I don't want their stupid clogging up the Twitter for the cult members who actually have a cognitive brain function. But it's ridiculous. No, it's preposterous visually. It's an embarrassment. It's stupid. It's silly. And yes, their fans get a kick out of it. And they better hope they've got enough of them to keep them in business for the next 10 years, because they ain't going to make any more with it. They're going to run all those people off because those people have what's called common fucking sense. Anyway, I'm mad. I'm going to get through the rest of this thing so I can get to the good stuff.
That whole commercial break, though, they're beating on him. All I'm thinking is, does anyone ever go for a pin? Does anyone ever try to win?
Well, no, because the Lucha Brothers were smart enough to do the old thing where it don't cover. Dick the Bruiser never covered anybody till it was the finish, right? And then he beat him. Because if they covered him, he'd have to kick out.
He kicked out of one of those big moves. I forget exactly which one. I couldn't believe it. I said, you gotta be kidding me.
You can't save this. You can't justify this. You can't rationalize this. Marco Stunt is an embarrassment, and a lot of their company is going to be exposed as this because they're more concerned with getting their friends jobs from the billionaire Mark. I'm sorry, Tony, but, fuck. You let Marco Stunt on your television program, so we got absolutely nothing to talk about. I'm going to just have to tell the truth. They they've hoodwinked this billionaire Mark into getting all their friends fucking jobs, and now they're putting shit like that on television. And fuck you if you like it. That's what I've got to say. here came Pac and John Moxley against fucking Adam Page and Kenny Olivier. I felt so sorry for Adam Page. Olivier jump-started it with awkward, phony brawling. They did a big four-way. There was 4 guys doing shit to each other. Page took a flip bump off the top rope onto the apron and then to the floor. I wish he wouldn't do that. He'll hurt himself before he hooks on with a legitimate promotion. Kenny Olivier, as I'm writing my notes, is green as fuck and looks awkward to work with. Page is smooth as silk. Moxley looks herky-jerky, but he really knows what he's doing. It's just his style. And Pac was buried in this. In a lot of cases, I thought he just was in there. They did simultaneous tags so Harpo can jump in and do jazz hands and make funny faces. By the way, the Twitters with the separated at birth pictures of Harpo Marx and Kenny Olivier are very much appreciated. Keep them coming.
The amount of people that tweeted last night counting his points, his jumps, his leaps, his faces. A lot of people are really now into this.
Well, yeah, it's like a drinking game, only you won't end up on the floor puking. You'll just puke after you see his match. Then let's see, where are we at in the match? Oh, everybody did dives. The baby faces hit Pac with about 8 things. Everybody did shit to each other. All 4 of them were in the ring with no tags whatsoever. Kenny Olivier making stupid faces. Kenny Olivier and John Moxley beat each other up, and Kenny Olivier made more stagey theatrical gestures. Then they each got their barbed wire broom and baseball bat, Moxley and Olivier. But then suddenly Pac, who's Olivier's partner, takes his barbed wire broom away. And so then Moxley DDTs Pac and leaves. And both the baby faces, I guess they were the baby faces, because you can't really tell here either, beat Pac. What? Why? What the fuck? I don't even know what the fuck went on there, and I could give a shit. What the fuck are they doing? And a barbed wire broom. Because everybody watching TNT knows that Kenny Olivier, when he was with New Japan Wrestling, 2 or 3 years ago, was known as the cleaner. Everybody that stumbled across this program on TNT would know that, and that's why he's got a broom wrapped in barbed wire. You fucking morons. Why do they let the fucking kids class sit at the fucking adults table? Why do they let Romper Room come in and do college fucking examination work? Why do they let these people run a wrestling company? What'd you think?
I thought it was all right. At this point, I was burned out. I was burned out by this point. Honestly, the SCU Best Friends match was easily the best thing either one of those guys, either one of those teams have done in AEW. And then everything after that, I lost interest more and more and more. That Lucha Brothers match, the fact that it went on for so long. If it had ended in 5 minutes, maybe they do one cute spot with the kid and then crush him, I would have said all right. But it went on so long that after a point, it was so ridiculous, even I gave up on that. At this point, I was kind of checked out on the show. I just wanted to see the Jericho match already.
Well,
but for what it was a good match.
For what it was. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you enjoy the play? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have more coming up after this break of Brian Last trying to pick a turd up by the clean end. All right, so the main event on this program is a Philadelphia street fight for the World Heavyweight title. Is this the first time the world title's been defended on television, right? For them.
I think so, yes.
In a street fight, because they're in Philadelphia, against Darby Allin. A garbage match with the champion just so an underneath guy can do his shit is what we're basically dealing with here. I realize they're trying to push Darby Allin. I realize he does have charisma and he does have special athleticism. And I realize that there is something there and something that can be translated to a bigger audience. And it ain't going to be done in 3 fucking weeks. And what they have done is instead of taking this guy from the middle and letting him establish himself and what he is and what he's done, they've just assumed, like the God, and they're in the same position we were in Ring of Honor when the old Ring of Honor fans were like, oh, don't let anybody else in on our secret club or change anything now that you're on real television. They're going to get that too. But instead of pushing Darby Allin with the obvious size discrepancy and problem and the fact that nobody on a mainstream basis has ever seen him before or heard his name, he has never been on television. Besides that, they should put him in the middle, give him wins, build him up, establish his gimmick, not in 3 or 6 weeks, but in 3 or 6 months. And slowly bring him up and let him get competitive and then do things where he's competitive with Jericho, at which point in time where maybe Jericho has established this title as being important. But in fucking 3 weeks, you have put this match on the air to try to elevate a mid-card guy that nobody's ever heard of at the expense of your world champion, who is the only guy that most of the fans have heard of in your company. That's just right off the bat. I remember the last time that I took a guy who could do incredible athletic moves and looked like $1 million, but really couldn't cut a promo yet and didn't have any psychology yet, and nobody on a mainstream basis or anywhere in the United States had ever heard of him before, and I tried to push him as a top guy right off. It didn't work. Guy's name was Chris Jericho. It was 25 years ago. Lance Storm will tell you the same thing. They didn't know how to work to that audience, and they were green and they couldn't talk. But they were hugely potential talents that gradually came into their own. This should be done with young Darby Allin, like I did with Chris Candido, who came in working the opening match program with Bobby Blaze, and in a year and a half was a main event tag team champion. Anyway, Jericho's being very professional trying to get this guy over. But his punches are awful, like a 6th grade schoolyard kid when he's hopping on doing the fucking fight. Jericho took over and slowed it down so that it could register and he could get some heat on Darby and get what he could out of him and control the pace. He did a very good job of that. And Darby Allin is definitely athletic. He did a wonderful job of being led. But then it started going too long and too much, back and forth. Chris Jericho at this point in this company's life needs to be stronger than this. If he's having this much trouble with a guy 60 pounds lighter than him that nobody's ever heard of, then what the fuck? Should Cody just go ahead and fucking squash him in 5 minutes? Jericho needs to be stronger than this. Then when they got to the part where Jericho duct taped the guy's wrists behind his back and got heat on him, that was great. And I could have even seen at that point they could have done a thing where Jericho beat him down and hit him with finishes and the guy kept kicking out, but he couldn't escape. And finally the referee stopped it and the guy's fucking foaming at the mouth and Jericho has gotten a fucking victory, but the guy never quit. Something like that. But instead, Darby Allin makes a comeback with his hands taped behind his back against the world champion Chris Jericho, and then not only does a dive through the ropes with the hands taped, but comes off the top with a fucking body block, too. A guy with no arms is beating up the world champion. And then Jericho powerbombs Darby Allin on his skateboard. But somehow, moments later, Darby Allin is fresh enough to go to the top rope where Jake Hager, not Sammy, but Jake, has to come out while Jericho distracts the referee and knocks Darby Allin off the top rope so Jericho can trap the walls of Jericho, which now means that apparently Jericho would need a machine gun to beat Cody or Moxley. He can't even beat an armless, handless, 160-pound skateboarder without interference. What the fuck did I just fucking see?
Seemingly no one could beat a smaller opponent in a quick period of time. This is the third match. I mean, if you count the Riho match, who's the world's women's champion, the Marco Stunt match, and the Darby Allin match, this is 3 matches with someone who seems abnormally small for the sport of wrestling, at least against a heavyweight. And that's AEW.
I don't even.
And I like Jericho. And, you know, I've been so critical about Jericho. For the first time, I'm really digging him in a long time and really into his stuff. And, you know, no promos. Not one. I mean, Jericho's on the screen, and they had the Cody, puff piece,
Yeah.
but no fucking promos. The first week I was like, you know what? This is good. It's a mix of this, a mix of that. There was the Tony Schiavone promo by the backstage area. No promos, no personalities get over.
Who would you want to hear talk on this show? Best friends? Skip.
Well, let me give you an example. I still don't know why I should care about Adam Page, and it seemed like a lot of that audience felt the same way.
There you go.
Let me hear some promos. Let me hear why I should care.
So after 3 weeks, it's not even a horse race. That was an embarrassing show, even though I like a few people involved. And then I watched NXT, which now, like you said, is going to be reversed from now on. Because after 3 weeks, NXT's show was not like AEW's, 20% as good as the first one. It was multiple times, in my opinion, better. Now look what you got over on the other channel. They started with a great recap of last week. The camera work, the editing, if they do voiceovers, their stuff, the WWE production umbrella, their stuff is unbeatable from a production standpoint. The recap video, a lot of the show is dark. I know they're going for a look, but I just like to see a little better. But the fucking open music, We're Not Your Kind. It had more energy. Mauro Ranallo has more energy. He makes this show. And immediately here comes Tommaso Ciampa. He's got a great fucking look. It's different. And plus we've talked about, I'm amazed at him. What a fucking physical freak he is. And they talked about it. 4 major surgeries in 2 years. Knees, neck. He's come back from every single one and ahead of schedule. I told you before he came to Ring of Honor in 2011, he'd had a big time knee surgery and rehabbed and came back from that. And he's had other injuries. He's a fucking real life cyborg. And look at the state of him, as they say. Physically, he's ripped. He looks incredible. He's got the beard, the fucking facials. And, as a matter of fact, one time in Ring of Honor, I've told you the time Tommaso told me and Delirious that our shit sucked.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it was the Sinclair era, right? And we had done a day of pre-tapes on a Friday. And then we had done a big TV taping in Baltimore on Saturday, where we had been at the building since 11 o'clock that morning. We left at midnight. We drove straight to New York because we had an afternoon show at the Hammerstein Ballroom. So we literally had in 36 hours, we slept 2 hours when we got to New York and then had to go across the bridge and blah, blah, blah. We're at the Manhattan Center, Hammerstein. And I can't remember what, but it was Tommaso, some match he had. Delirious and I we were just burnt. Nobody had any sleep. We were sitting in the locker room. I was nodding off, which I never do at a show, right? But it was just, we'd passed the point. And we had come up, I think, with like 20-minute Broadway for him to do. And we gave it to him, and Tommaso's looking, and I said, oh, tell me what you think. He said, well, I think it fucking sucks. And I said, you know what? You're right. It does. I said, now, having said that, if I wasn't so fucking sleepy, I'd fire you for the fucking delivery of the goddamn sentiment. But what would you do? And he came up with something else, and it worked. And we said, okay, do that, right? So, but it just his delivery. When he said it fucking sucked. Well, I'm too tired. But anyway, he wrestles Angel Garza. These guys, you can tell the NXT guys up and down, they're so highly trained. They work on basics. They work on their wrestling. They're so highly trained that a lot of them are too smooth. They look too practiced. That's almost that's a backhanded knock, I guess. But they're all in tremendous condition. You don't have any indie outlaw looking fucking physiques or bullshit. And in some cases, as we've said, we want people that are different, but they even give us some people that are different here in a minute. But Ciampa goes over with his DDT. I would have had him even more dominant than this, but he pretty much put Angel Garza away. It was meant to get Ciampa over. This was almost perfect. And then here comes the Undisputed Era to confront Ciampa, Cole and O'Reilly and Fish and fucking Roddy. And they give the announcers 40 years ago, this would have been a VHS tape. Right? You've seen the angle. Somebody was watching Mid-South Wrestling on this television program. They started out with a last week recap to get us into it. They give us the big star that's come back in a convincing win. They give us his heel opponents, giving a video to the announcers. What could this be about? I'm interested. We come back from the fucking break, and they show Undisputed Era's tape. Adam Cole is fantastic. He has passion in his face and voice when he talks. They had the Velveteen Dream laid out, which after the last couple weeks, to me, is the best use of him. Roderick Strong was great, screaming in his face. He had bass in his voice. I tried to get that out of Roddy for years. He did a great fucking job. This wasn't cheesy. They had already beat the guy up. They had him laid out. They did convincing promos with game faces. You know, they started off the Battle of Wrestling shows with a good goddamn wrestling show. And already they've hooked me better than AEW did with whatever the fuck it was they were doing.
Undisputed Era, great. Fantastic. And little touch I liked was just Roddy coming out there with his shirt ripped and they never reference it. And
yes.
Until you see the brawl, you have no idea why. And I thought that was great because you're wondering, you're like, why is his shirt ripped and no one's saying anything? As opposed to them like, something's with his shirt. I wonder what happened. So I thought that was great. They're great. What a great faction. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're modern horsemen, if anybody get to be, except for the partying part. Then here was an issue. The next tag match, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch against the Imperium team of Marcel Bartel and Fabian Aichner with Alexander Wolf. And they are the guys that are basically Walter's henchmen in Imperium. What the fuck is with these names? Why do they make up phony names that nobody else has, but that are also hard to remember and say?
I couldn't keep track of who was who. Eventually, I figured out which one was Lonely, or not Lonely, but
Lonely.
What's his name? Only.
Oni.
Excuse me, Oni. I figured out who he was.
Only the lonely.
Because he was the only one wearing white, and there were 3 bald guys in the match.
I swear to God. I wrote this down. Every guy except Lorcan has black trunks and black knee pads, and 3 guys are bald and all the same size.
Yeah.
It was literally like watching one of those video games where just generic characters do moves back and forth to each other. They used to have a sign in the 80s and 90s at WWF TV. The sign that you would see right when you got to the gorilla position was no matching tights, which meant that you were not supposed to wear the same color as your opponent, because that was another of Vince's picadillos. If you're in a NBA arena and you're up in the cheap seats and you're watching wrestling and you see 2 little figures, if they're both wearing the same color, and back then everybody had blonde hair, now everybody's bald, there had to be difference. But 3 bald guys in black trunks and knee pads. No, 3 bald guys. One of them was Lorcan, who had the white trunks on, and then 3 guys were in black trunks and knee pads. I wrote this, that Lorcan did a half a dozen dives. I don't know what the fuck. Everybody did a bunch of shit. That Aichner did a great triple jump moonsault and got a 2 count. Then Imperium did a back slap tag, which more on that later. And then they won with a less impressive move than the moonsault seconds later. They announced Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch at a combined weight of 380 pounds. What the fuck? Say 401. It's lying 10 pounds on each guy, right? Nobody will notice. But instead of 2 guys weighing a total of 380 pounds, 401 at least sounds like they're grown adults. And especially the names on Imperium. I love that group. I love their music and entrance. Yeah. The backlit thing. The music is cool. Their faces. That fucking Bartel looks like a fucking picture you would see from the 30s of that Hitler Youth. And that expression, they're great, but nobody can pronounce those names or remember them and which one's which. Fuck.
You think we're going to get Imperium versus the Undisputed Era down the road?
Well, I would think you would almost have to do that, wouldn't you? Just because the clamor would be there. Anyway. They did a package on Johnny Gargano. Where is Bruce Pritchard now to say, well, he doesn't have any personality, like he did when I brought him Rhino or Chris Benoit or fucking on and on and on. Beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I've heard of people that are monotone. Johnny Gargano is also monoface. He's certainly not two-faced, because if he was, he wouldn't be wearing the one he's got on now.
Oh, come on.
Blah. All right, here comes Io Shirai and Caden Carter. And I skipped it, because I've seen enough Japanese schoolgirls wrestle. But then Io starts to do a promo in the ring. And she says about 8 or 10 words, and I have no fucking idea what they were. And then, thank God, Rhea Ripley interrupted. We liked her last week. She's got a good promo. She's got a good delivery. She's got facials. They need an interviewer. It's awkward for them for men, women, or anybody to just stand there and face each other and hand the microphone back and forth, even though she snatched it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she called her out. I know you couldn't hear what she was saying, but basically she was referencing in that interview that Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley have both called out Shayna Baszler, and forget about them, it's me. And as soon as she said, Rhea, like 10 seconds later, she was out there.
Okay, well, the point is, besides they need an interviewer, Rhea Ripley basically tells her to fuck off, and she does. She backs up. She walks around the ring backing off from Rhea Ripley, and then she gets out of the ring. I thought Shirai was the babyface. The babyface just got punked out. I don't, what the fuck? I don't know.
I will say, I liked the match. I thought match was all right, and I liked the post-match thing just because, unlike AEW, I'm really interested in where the NXT female division is going. And between Io, who I like, and Shayna, and Bianca Belair, who I also really like, all going, and Rhea Ripley, you know what? There's 4 top people for their division, and I'm into. So they're doing a good job.
Except when the babyface girl gets punked out and just walks off.
Yeah, I don't know why that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The way she left. But I liked her until that point. I know you skipped over the match and you dismissed her. She's good. Don't compare her to Riho. I liked her.
All right. She's Io, not Riho. Anyway, Riho.
Don't confuse Riho with Io.
Io, not Io, but Riho. If I wonder, can we get it started where when she's wrestling in the next TNT program, a bunch of people in the stands are going, Riho, Riho, Ricola, Riho. Anyway, Cameron Grimes, VTR, I could watch him do that double foot stomp all day long. That's slicker than cum on a gold tooth. That's awesome. Goddamn phenomenal. I like him. And then an interview with William Regal. Imagine this, an authority figure who can make matches and announce rulings on the program. Velveteen Dream is hurt, obviously, and can't go next week, so Roddy will defend against the winner of Keith Lee and Donovan Dijakovic. I liked Dijak better. Usually they make people's names easier. They made this one harder.
Another tough European name to throw into the mix for no reason.
Do you know who Donovan Dijakovic reminds me of?
No. Oh, can I make one guess?
Go ahead. You ain't gonna get it.
It's a bit of a height difference. Nigel McGuinness.
Well, no, but actually, appearance-wise, yes, I can see where you're going with that. But no, this fucking guy reminds me of a modern-day Killer Kowalski. Think about this. Kowalski started, he was 6'7" and 300 pounds with a bodybuilder physique pre-steroids in the late 40s, early 50s. They called him Tarzan Kowalski. He looked like a fucking movie star. Full head of wavy hair, that tremendous chest spread, long arms and legs, and he was athletic and could do drop kicks and shit that a guy that size, like Donnelly O'Jonathan, a guy that size didn't look like they should do that. But Kowalski always had cardio, and his style was aggressive and moving forward. And when he got, 10 years into his career, late 50s, early 60s, he went through the deal where he became a vegetarian. He dropped the physique weight and instead trained for cardio, which is why he looked in his older years so lean and almost scrawny sometimes, but he was still 6'7", but now he's like 240. But they said he kept moving. On offense, he was always moving. On defense, he was always bumping, or you had to really work to fight this fucking guy, right? And Dijakovic reminds me of somebody that could look like that and work like that if he wasn't in with Keith Lee. Now, everybody's going, oh, well, you want people to be different, and I like Keith Lee. I'm not saying that. But they had led me to believe we were going to be blown away by the big man stuff, which there was some stuff there, yes. But Keith Lee can leapfrog. He can do the splash. He can do some amazing things. Here's what I think. I think Donovan Dijakovic is a more polished package at this point. He looks fantastic. I like his work. Keith Lee is very green. He needs facials. He needs more natural body language. He's too passive in between the moves. While, he's carrying that much weight, it's amazing he can do what he's doing. This match went long enough that I think he was starting to blow. And
it went too long.
It went too long. There was, he did, after they went to a break again in the match, we came back, he did some nice comeback moves, and then it seemed like they lost the plot. And then there was a spot where it took forever for Dijakovic to try to superplex him, but then Keith knocked him off the buckles and then splashed the arm and then hit a big power bomb. And then from that point, Dijakovic has to sell the arm, which limited them even more. I understand Dijakovic was not experienced in selling the arm, so it looked stagey and it looked like the deal you do when I'm selling this arm to call everyone's attention to the fact I can't use it. It limited him when he needed to have all of his faculties together to make the thing with Keith Lee exciting when Keith Lee was losing his fucking steam. Keith Lee did a great that power vertical suplex where he tried to get him up once, twice, the third time, but never put him back down on the ground. That's crazy strength. And they followed that up with a really stupid spot where Keith Lee did a reverse Hurricane Rana, that poison Rana as they call it, and it's too dangerous for both guys, and it's awkward and it's stupid and shouldn't be done. But then after all of that, and it had gone on that long, I understand why they did this finish, because the finish actually got over. It was a cheap DQ, which you're supposed to have on free television from time to time, where Roddy has to fight the winner next week. So he gets Donovan Dijak disqualified by running in and whacking Keith Lee with the fucking belt. But then Regal, the authority figure, foils him and makes it a triple threat match. That's fine. And now I'm interested in next week. What the fuck's going to happen? They could have done what they did with Keith Lee and Dijakovic quicker instead of slowing it down that far and exposing, in my opinion, that Keith Lee is still green, and he makes faces on purpose. You're right. When he turns to the people and he yells, ah, then he forgets he's supposed to have a face, and he looks exactly the same as he's going to the next thing. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I see that.
I wanted more menace from Keith Lee. He just looks aloof about everything. Like when he was taking the guy's hand and twisting his fucking hand, is like, I needed some more passion out of a big guy like that. But anyway, and the finish worked because, it leads to next week. What do you think?
I really liked it. I was really impressed with both guys. I know they said this was the fourth match in this series. It's the first one I've seen. It really is interesting how much bigger big guys look on NXT than on Raw. But these guys, the size stood out. The fact that he's 6'7", what's his name? Dijakovic or whatever his new name is.
Donovan.
The fact that he's so tall, I mean, you could tell more on NXT than you would have on Raw. And I was just happy to see a couple of good heavyweights having a good match. And look, the whole fucking show, we got competitive matches. And then in between them, we got a couple matches that, hate to use the word squash, but the EO match and the Tommaso Ciampa match were just about getting someone over, just about someone getting a win and getting over. This was a good show. It was after this show, I was like, you know what? there's another show I am excited about watching next week. AEW had me for a few weeks. I am looking forward to where NXT is going, especially with Adam Cole and his group.
Well, hold on. We got a couple more things, and I'll get to this quick. Because Matt Riddle against Bronson Reed.
Oh, I forgot that wasn't the end of the show. Forgive me.
No. Yeah. No, there's still more. My favorite thing is coming up. Matt Riddle and Bronson Reed. Matt Riddle, I've liked before, but he looks ridiculous in that outfit. I don't understand what the fuck he's doing.
What do you mean? What do you mean he looks ridiculous in that outfit?
He's wearing the striped shorts, the striped shirt, the cap, the goof. I don't know what the fuck is that outfit.
I didn't know if you meant his stripes. I didn't know if you meant his trunks during a match or what he came out to the ring with.
No, everything that. Well, I mean, the striped trunks. It looks a little odd, but his skin tight shirt was striped, as was the cap he was wearing. I don't know what the fuck.
I think his gimmick is that he's like a big stoner, and he just does like big stoner things. And says big stoner things.
Well, anyway, this was 100 miles an hour. It should have been a squash for Matt Riddle. It came off stagey and blah. Bronson Reed's got potential, but he kicked out of shit he shouldn't have, and he got a 2 count. And then Matt Riddle amazingly gave the guy kind of a Styles clash. He was that big, and he got him up, boom, but that it could have been quicker. And I'm going to skip this real quick because Tegan Nox against Tainara. Tainara looks like a model trying to wrestle. Tegan Nox won and was about to talk with Dakota Kai, but here comes Shayna Baszler. And Marina Schaefer and Jessamine Duke, and Baszler has some personality on the microphone. I did not watch this match. I watched every word Shayna Baszler said, and it was great. There was a Finn Balor package that I didn't get. And then we got Killian Dane. He's their version of Trevor Murdoch, right? He's the badass on the program that looks like a big biker and just would kick your ass and has no muscles. And that was great. And Boa, his opponent, is the shits. And
remember last week he got squashed in like a second. We didn't even get to see much.
Yeah. Well, good. I didn't like that Boa got so many kicks in on Killian Dane here before Killian Dane killed him. But Dane, he did the cool low cross body where he just pancakes him and he beat Boa up and his shit looks good. And finally 3 Vader bombs and boom, nice deal. But coming up, I'm trying to look at all of my notes here. I have to say, yep, I believe that will be the case. My favorite match of the night of both shows, Pete Dunne and Damian Priest. I love this. You tell me what you thought first, so people won't accuse you of agreeing with me.
I thought it was a good match. I really was. This was the first time I've seen Damian Priest. I was really impressed with him. I'm not as big on Pete Dunne as everyone else is, but it was really good. And it was the close of a good episode. Like I said, I was really into NXT, and, you know, I wish it would have been 90 minutes instead of 2 hours, but other than that, it was good. And I like.
Well, see, here's the thing. Pete Dunne is good. But I liked him here because he did his job best of anybody of the night, which was to make Damian Priest look good and get over. And I mean, obviously Damian did it on his own too, but he besides the fact that Damian Priest looks like Lenny Kravitz if he fought in the UFC, right? What a great look he's got. He looks phenomenal. He's got a great name. He's got a great look physically. He's got a great voice. His voice actually sounds like a grown adult man. I haven't heard one of those in a long time. His attitude on his face and his body language, and he doesn't look like he's 23 years old. He looks like he's young, but he's indefinably older. He's more mature. Mauro Ranallo is fucking fantastic also. But Damian Priest, he sold Pete Dunne's finger stuff and the joint manipulation. Great. Well, not only with facials, but also with his body language. Everything in this match was different than both programs because Pete Dunne has the European style and still does some of his own things, and Damian Priest is different. They went to a break I didn't even mind. When they came back, I wrote down Pete Dunne reminds me of Owen Hart. Some of the way he moves on some things and some of the things he does. I think that Damian Priest has every right and reason to be expected to be a top heel someday in this business. Pete Dunne is creative. Poor Morrow, now that I've put him over, I'll take some of it back. Way too much Archer of infamy. But even when Damian Priest did the dive, it meant something. It was different than everybody else's. He stepped up the ropes, he did a front flip, and he actually landed on the fucking guy. And it looked like he had a exit strategy, because instead of just diving head first like an idiot, he flipped and landed to pancake the guy with a cannonball. So you might not actually hurt yourself doing that. Priest hit several finishes. I don't know if I'd have done so many big things there. Well, once again with this guy, because this is a new television program. Yes, the NXT fans know who everybody is, but it's a new TV program. The only problem I have with NXT 2, like AEW, only NXT ain't as bad, is who are we pushing? We need to get one of them over. If both guys that I've never heard of are competitive with each other, then I don't know who the star is supposed to be. If the guy that I've never heard of is fighting a guy that I've heard of and he's competitive, then I know they're both stars, right? It's just, anyway, they have a big hockey fight. They go back and forth, but the beautiful referee distraction, ball kick, and into the fucking finish the timing was right. The referee didn't look awkward. It didn't look like it was see-through. It was done well. And that was perfect. I would love to Damian Priest to get over a little stronger in this. But otherwise than that, they did a rest. Imagine that. Vince McMahon was the one in charge of technically of a wrestling show straight out of the Bill Watts playbook. And the wrestlers that were in charge of their show over on the other channel shit the bed and did a bunch of embarrassing bullshit outlaw mud show stuff. Who would have ever thought?
It's like a variety show, the other one.
Well, I don't like some of their variety. But anyway, so this week, NXT not only wins, blows away, and gets the position of being watched live next week. Because if I see any more Marco stunt, I'll fucking vomit.
Who's the MVP of the night on both shows? Who was the most impressive?
Oh, gosh. Let me see. Hold on, because...
Who do you wish? Who does Jim Cornette wish he can get his hands on out of this whole bunch that you saw, and mold into a top superstar?
Well, that's easy. Damian Priest.
Really? More than anyone else.
Well, here's the thing. Let's go through this real quick. Through both shows. Best Friends, garbage. SCU, both good individuals, but the match was all three good individuals, but the match was a hot mess, and they're all veterans. Ortiz, Santana, Silver, Reynolds, I don't know what the fuck. Jericho was the best talker. Well, Adam Cole. Jericho was the best talker for his program, Adam Cole for his. Britt Baker and Rijo's preposterous. Lucha Brothers, Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, preposterous. Pac and Moxley, Page and Olivier, it was in the death slot after the two other sucky things. But they have talent. Jericho trying to get Allen over, but going way too far. There was really nothing great on that program. Ciampa is a big fucking deal, and he's back. Adam Cole and his guys were glue in the angle. And Damian Priest is the one, if I was booking, that I would most want to take and plan for the future with, because he's a grown man and looks like he can do some damage. So there you go.
All right.
I guess we'll do it again next week. And in the meantime, you can still watch NWA Power if you just want to see some studio wrestling and not the endurance contest.
And of course, if you want to see some great arena wrestling from Houston, Texas is another thing you could do.
JimCornette.com. Cornette's Collectibles. The holiday sales season is in full force. We got the Fuck JC t-shirt. We have the Houston Wrestling Spectacular DVD and more stuff coming up, folks. We're still depending on China for some of these things. Now Korea's been brought into the mix, and we'll see if we can get it in time for Christmas. There's a big printing plant over in Korea, apparently. It's what I'm being told by my comic book folks. Anyway, until then, in the meantime and in between time, folks, what an episode today. The people loved it. They can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of your love. And until next week, in parting, besides love, peace, and soul, thank you, fuck you, bye-bye, everybody.